My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tec Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tec Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tec Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
War is about to unfold amongst that top 16 battle tree. A lot of cars getting revamped for this season. We've got drivers from Queensland, from Victoria, some interstate battles going on. But first out on the field now is Daniel Christic up against Benny Muir. So that bright orange RX-7 out the front. Big turbo triple or quad rotor, I believe, under there. In the back, Benny Muir, V8 power under the bonnet of that S14 Sylvia. Look at the difference in power delivery between these two cars as Christic has a bit of a drop down off boost in the middle. How hard would it be having two so different cars, Scott?
Yeah, no, totally different cars out in the track there. A fair few mistakes in his lead run, getting out to the rear clip there, but yeah, having a few straight end ups through that lead run, judges aren't going to be happy with what he did there.
Struggling a little bit, trying to keep it on power. Hitachi bringing us the replay now. You see a couple of clutch kicks there as the car wallows back onto its rear suspension, trying to get ready, but just can't keep it up on boost. I get a feeling that RX-7 wants to stretch its legs on a bigger circuit, and because of that, is struggling. Let's see how he goes in the chase, though, Scott.
Yeah, Benny Muir taking the lead here. Nice, good entry, a bit in off that rear clip, but the judges score really hardly on that. Nice quick switch back through here. Benny does well. Oh, Christic with the mistake. Bit of a straighten up there behind Benny Muir. Judges are going to score him down on that one. Benny doing a good lead run here. Drops a small wheel drop. Judges aren't going to score him down too much about that one.
Couple of drops, couple of speed stalls. So really it's going to be the battle of mistakes here, Shembry, where the judges have to see who made fewer mistakes and therefore deserves a spot moving forward.
Yeah, 100%, Dave. Christic's there and thereabouts, but he's a little bit messy behind Benny. Benny put in a pretty good, decent, nice and clean lead run here. Gets out to this rear clip, drops the wheel ever so slightly. Judges aren't going to score him down too much for that, but yeah, Christic obviously pushing hard, but I think that car's just a little bit too over gripped for this track, Dave.
Yeah, so decision made, and that is Benny Muir through to the top 8. Now another engine swapped car with Warrick Hill out in the lead. Toyota JZ under the bonnet of that thing. Greg Merriman chasing in a more traditional Sylvia with the 4-cylinder turbo under the bonnet. Warrick Hill putting a clear lead over Greg Merriman there, and that's a name you're going to be hearing a lot of tonight. Warrick Hill driving both in the famous Insurance Pro-Am series and also up here with the big boys, doing a killer job.
From the get-go, Merriman is back off Warrick Hill, does a fast entry, quick switch back here, but just wasn't being able to clean, reel him in for the rest of the track, Dave. I don't know something going on with Merriman's car, but Warrick Hill just got the speed and pulls away from him there.
Yeah, cooked along that bottom straight. Now let's see if, as the positions are switched, if there is still such a large difference in speed. Merriman, big handbrake drag there on the entry. Judges aren't going to like that one.
Nah, not at all. That's one thing they said in drivers briefing that they don't want to see is a big handbrake entry, which slows all your speed down. Oh, nearly into a spin there. It's going to be interesting to see what the judges call on that one. Did Merriman slow Warrick down and put him in the spin, or was it all just Warrick Hill himself?
Yeah, it's one of those hard situations where you really do have to follow what the driver in front of you is doing, and if they end up, speed stalling in the middle of the corner when you're right there on their door, you don't have much of a choice except to spin there. Let's have a look at the Hitachi replay, check it out.
Merriman throws on the big angle, got that wide stab behind him, which helps him, but yeah, a lot of angle. I don't know, it could go any way there.
Yeah, cameras make it a bit easier than it does for the judges' eyes, but judges siding with Warrick Hill, getting him through there into the later battles. Now a real battle of the big boys here. Rob Avellino in that twin-turbo V8 Hi-Tec Allstars 350Z up against Mitch Jeffrey, who all through last year had a killer chase technique, throwing down on door.
Yeah, Rob hungry for the lead lap here. Out wide, cooking those Achilles tyres off the 350Z rims.
Riding on board with Jeffrey now really gives you an idea of what it's like to try and drive through the smoke screen billowing out the back of the 350Z. How's the replay here? Diving in and getting as close as he can with very little vision.
Yeah, it's a pretty even run there. Rob's doing everything right in the lead run, but Jeffrey's right there in the chase, not giving him an inch.
Judges tipping the advantage towards Rob Avellino, but the positions will switch, and it's going to be time now to see what Mitch Jeffrey can do out in front. Riding on board with Rob now. He will be the chase car. Up onto the front straight. Let's see how they throw it. Ooh, seems to be held up a little bit by Mitch Jeffrey there. Big difference in the power level of these cars. That angry turbo V8 under the bonnet would be a weapon to drive.
Oh, mistake there from Rob. Unfortunately, really aggressive on that chase in that lead corner and just putting him off on that second corner switchback and unfortunately dropping a wheel.
Yeah, when you're driving a car as quick as that, you can come rocketing in just that little bit quicker than you think. And I think that's what happened there as we go to the replay. You're on board with Rob and boom, straight on the foot brake to avoid that contact with Mitch Jeffrey.
That's it, Dave. I've done it 100 times. I know what it's like. You come around that corner, holding your foot down, just trying to cook those tyres and get on that door. And next thing you know, there's no track left and you're in the dirt, mate.
And while it's a sport all about aggression, apparently, unfortunately, just that little bit too much saw Mitch Jeffrey get through in top of Rob Avellino. Isn't that the definition of a race car? What a cabin.
Yeah, Aaron Dewar, killer car, killer setup. Putting down a nice clean lead lap here as we go through the switchback. Let's see what he can do.
Thing I love about Duar's car is that he ripped all that EFI stuff off a late model LS, banged a big dirty carby on the top that you can see hanging out the bonnet. What a legend, up against Shawn Gilbert in that SR20 powered KE70. So turbo 4-cylinder in that little green machine, trying to keep up with that big boy V8.
Yeah, don't take anything away from Shawn. Unfortunately, he couldn't really reel in that gap that Aaron pulled on him, and Aaron comes up to this first corner, throws a massive entry into this last corner. Big smoke out of that V8. Really, really good, and Shawn, yeah, just there but not thereabouts.
Look at the gear knob. Actually, I think that's the handbrake, the big old spanner with a sequential gearbox in there as well. This thing means business.
Yeah, 100%, Dave. It's a well set up car. Only weighs about 1,000 kilos too. Ooh. Gilbert put on a good lead lap. No! Duar's around.
I'd still count that as a spin despite the amount of lock Duar's car had, allowing him to flick it back the other way. Giving Shawn Gilbert a lead run now, unopposed. Bit of a wheel drop though, so it's going to be a difficult one for the judges to weigh up.
Yeah, a few mistakes there in the lead and chase from both drivers, so be interesting to see what the judges call that one. Oh, it's Gilbert through.
Hitachi replay showing us this is the moment that Aaron Duar unfortunately just got pushed a little bit hard there on aggression, so I think that middle section is going to be one to watch tonight. Guys going in hard. Mitchell Cole up against Brad Tuohy now, who came second in the championship last year, has a couple of trophies at home on the wall, but we know he's going for the top spot tonight. Twin supercharged V8 under the bonnet of that 8.6 that rolled off the production line practically as a bare shell, up against Mitchell Cole in the V8 powered S13.
Yeah, one of the young up-and-comers, Dave, coming through the sport. Unfortunately, Brad Tuohy pulling away from him there in that lead run, but Mitch really did nothing wrong in the chase.
He's really developed a lot as a driver, Mitch Cole. I mean, I was saying earlier that you saw the car roll around a little bit last year, but it's really cornering flat now, and event after event, Mitch has been dialing up his speed, so he's going to be one to watch throughout the series, but unfortunately just drew one of our top competitors that early part of the battle, and that's how the qualifying tree goes.
Yeah, no, I've got my money on Mitch as being one of the guys to put a few upsets hopefully this year in the competition. Putting down a killer lead run here against Brad, not doing really anything wrong, and Brad's there, but Mitchie, you know, good on him for pushing it to Brad.
Nice bit of angle and taking that wide line through there, riding on board in the smoke room that is Brad Tuohy's H6, and how close is that for the chase across the finish?
Yeah, well done to Brad there. At the end of the track, just showing him why he's one of the seasoned veterans and why he is really pushing for that top spot tonight.
Really knows how to drive, and the judges recognise that skill giving him the nod, and Brad Tuohy is now through to the next round. Mitchell Cole, unfortunately, on the trailer, but will be back next round to show us what he's got in that V8 powered S13. Here's one of your boys on track now, eh?
Yeah, me boy Jabz, the 2JS15. Ahead of him, Michael Bonney, all the way from Victoria in another 2JS15, running about 700 horsepower, sequential gearbox, nice, all the trimmings, Y-Fab. Jabz there with the TDP, the Jericho 4-speed gearbox, 2J on about nearly 700 horsepower as well, so it's going to be a nice close battle, Dave.
The level of car just keeps going up and up year after year. Now we've got some crazy Victorians up here. We saw a turbo LS before, and now 3.4 litre or something too, Jay. That is wild race car stuff. Blazing tyres on Sydney Motorsport Parks Figure 8 circuit. Riding on board with Jabz now.
Jabz right on that first corner, exactly what the judge want to see. Getting a bit lost there in the smoke.
Pretty difficult to see on the chase run there. Try and position the car. I mean, what's your tip when you're sitting in a bit of a smoke screen? How do you do it?
Mate, you just close your eyes and hope for the best.
Oh, bold words. And I hope that's what's going on now. Michael Bonney coming in hot behind Jabz here through the middle section. Lots of lock there and packing the speed on. Was that contact?
I think he was just a little bit off. And he's made a mistake. Bonney behind Jabz. He was really pushing it to him there.
Yeah, possibly falling down off boost or something like that. But Jabz also nailing that outside line through the top sweeper there. No advantage in the first battle, but let's see from the Hitachi replay if the judges are going to be able to split them.
That mistake is what put Jabz through and Bonney back home in the trailer. Good to see him down here, and I heard he's going to be with us at round 2 again, so he's not going nowhere.
Yeah, long tow back to Victoria, but we really appreciate the boys coming up here. Now, an interesting battle as well. Beau Yates, veteran of the sport, been drifting since there was drifting in Australia in this crazy JZ-powered Toyota 86. But chasing him, making his competition debut, is Josh Kelly, this freshly built car. Saw a couple of the boys getting this thing together in the days leading up to the event, and Josh has been absolutely killing it throughout practice. How's he doing in the battle, Scott?
Yeah, young JK. Beau obviously did that lead run that he's always going to do, but he can't take anything from JK. It's his first real competition, and he's got one of the hardest guys to compete against on the track, and he take nothing away from JK there. It's all building confidence for him as a driver, and see what he can do in the lead run.
Man, that car of Beau's sounds absolutely nuts. And looking in the earlier battle, JK did manage to close the gaps up a little bit, so he's out in front now in that SR20 powered S13 with Beau chasing behind. It is a pretty close chase, but we have seen Beau get closer. Is he possibly surprised a little bit by the speed of the young gun?
Yeah, that could be it, Dave, or he could just be giving him a little bit of a gap. Who knows with Bowie, but yeah, don't take anything from JK here. He runs a little bit wide here. Obviously, the judges scored him down on that. Beau's there, does everything right in the chase run, but JK's going to be one to watch out for the future, Dave.
Yeah, good to get that battle experience in strong up against Beau Yates, treating that battle a bit like a spreadsheet and getting through exactly where he needs to be. So that's your top 8 up on screen now. Beau getting a spot up against Benny Muir. Mitchell Jeffrey up against Warrick Hill, Brad Tuohy and James Abbott, and then Michael Rosenblatt against Shawn Gilbert, and I like the way this ladder's shaping up. So Pro-Am run and done into the top 8 of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars, and we're about to see a battle with a familiar face from the Pro-Am series. There's Warrick Hill again, probably steaming a little bit about just missing out on the top spot in Pro-Am, but now he gets to mess it up with the big boys up against Mitch Jeffrey.
Yeah, it's pretty much just been there for every battle we've spoken about. He just won't get off his track, mate. Jeffrey's a season contender last year, really consistent in his chase runs, but Warrick seems to be pulling away a bit of a gap here, so I don't know what's going on with Jeffrey's car. It's a bit uncharacteristic mistake from him.
Pretty fast, both of these cars packing a JZ Toyota power plant under the bonnet, and Warrick just seemed to have the speed there out in the lead. Nice and tight through this middle section, but it's on the bottom straight where Warrick really rocketed away.
That's where you can really make a difference in the battles, is if you can pull a gap on that chase car up that straight, then you're going to get guaranteed a couple of advantage points.
It's hard to recover from that because both drivers will be practically full throttle as they come out onto the straight, and full throttle again as they throw down with Mitch Jeffrey now in the lead.
Warrick doing everything right here in the chase on that first corner. Let's see what he can do through the switch. Good switch by both drivers.
Oh, I could see tyre hanging off the edge of the track surface there. That was nice and wide from Mitch Jeffrey, and it's almost as if this chase and lead run has just been reversed. Both drivers seeming to have that advantage out in the lead.
Yeah, from my point of view, I couldn't split him. It'd be interesting to see what the judges have to say about that one. Warrick doing everything right in that chase. Mitch pulls away in that gap, and there you go. One more run.
So this is actually a new format brought in 2017, pinched from, I believe, an Irish Drift Series, and rather than going one more time like we saw last year, where both drivers get a lead and a chase run each again, we're now going to one more run. So what that means is the top qualifier gets to choose whether they want to lead or chase. And Warrick Hill here, as the higher qualifier, chose to chase Mitch Jeffrey despite having the advantage in the lead before.
And that could go against him here, as you can see, making a few mistakes in the chase run. I really like this this change that we've made for the series this year. You know, it brings qualifying into the mix. Before, it hasn't really mattered in the past. You know, you did a good qualifying battle. Didn't really matter where you ended up. It was all a bit coming down to the battles. But you know, now if you qualify in that top position and it comes down to a battle like now, you get to have that position where you lead or chase.
Yeah, so say you qualified first, you know, yeah, you might get a bye run through the top battles where you probably would have won anyway, but now the whole way through the battles of the night, if it's close and they can't divide you, you get the preference. And that, yeah, it really does put emphasis on the qualifying procedure. Into the next battle now, Brad Tuohy leading your teammate, James Abbott.
Go Jabz.
What a noise coming from that twin supercharged V8 under the bonnet of Brad Tuohy's car, being chased down by the big turbo JZ of James Abbott. I mean, both these cars probably making similar power levels, but man, do they deliver it differently. And what a smoke show Brad Tuohy's putting on in the lead.
Brad just leaves Jabz behind here a bit and just takes off from him. Obviously, Jabz having a few problems with the legs in his car tonight. There you go, advantage Brad Tuohy in that lead run. Jabz got to do a lot in this in his lead to make a mistake, push a mistake from Brad and see what happens.
You're right before that bottom straight is just so critical on the speed you're going to carry through the end of the course, and that outside clipping zone there is where a lot of battles are decided. So seeing Brad Tuohy make the most of that outside zone was really impressive, and it's now down to how Jabz leads and what this chase run looks like from Tuohy's driver's seat.
A big entry there from Jabz, but let's see how the rest of the battle plays out. Can Jabz pull away a gap like Brad did on him? Drops a little wheel there.
Seems to really be rocketing away up that straight as well. So these positions could be reversed a little bit.
Oh, and another drop of wheel from Jabz. I think that's going to be the difference there. 2 wheel drops. Nice entry from Jabz here. Big lock, big angle. Perfect for the S's. Brad's there, makes a small correction on the handbrake, Brad, just to try and slow him down. This is where Jabz starts to pull away a gap, just like Brad did to him, but unfortunately drops the wheel there. Drops a small wheel, so that's going to be another deduction for Jabz. I think Brad could be going through on this one.
Yeah, advantage for Brad Tuohy there from the judges, and just the speed he carries through the end of that sweeper there was just on a whole other level. That was so fast. But speaking about speed on the figure 8 circuit, I don't think anyone quite matches the speed and line of Beau Yates, now up against Benny Muir in that V8 powered S14.
You see what they throw down here. Listen to that 2J scream from Beau Yates. Benny in the chase.
Might have a chat to Beau, see if he can relay back to Toyota Genuine Parts. We want some more JZ motors rolling off the production line. Yeah. Beautiful sound. I reckon one of the best on the planet.
Yeah, it's a really good setup car. You know, the JH Racing engine does wonders for Beau out there. Benny Muir gets left alone a little bit here in the smoke, and Beau finishes off the run pretty much perfectly, as he always does.
Benny coming in hot into that top sweeper there, but too little too late. Another battle almost decided on the bottom straight, but now the positions switch and we can really see Beau Yates get the surgeon's gloves on and get clinical.
Benny throws a nice big entry there. Plenty of smoke, plenty of lock. Beau's there, not giving him an inch. Just listen to this 2J scream on the in-car as we go for a ride with Beau.
Beau not one to get lost in the smoke screen at all. He's sticking as close as he can to Benny. Although he probably did have a pretty big advantage going into this, he's not letting anything go to chance. And on the Hitachi replay here, you can see just how intently he's watching that rear quarter of Benny Muir, working that handbrake, trying to modulate the speed, and no real surprise here. Beau Yates is going through. Final top 8 battle of the night now. Mike Rosenblatt out in the lead after sitting in the pits for a little bit with some bye runs, so he might be a little bit cold, and you see that there as Shawn Gilbert dives in behind him in that SR-powered KE70 now. He's been driving pretty good tonight, really throwing down in practice and lucky to get to where he is now, but looks to have some speed that can't quite match Mick Rosenblatt down the bottom.
Yeah, Shawn's been driving very hard all night, very consistent, but you can't take anyone away from Mick, you know, kind of away from Queensland and straight from the get-go, throwing down crazy battles in crazy qualifying runs, and in the battles just coming out and showing him why he's up there.
So there's the judges down the bottom left, giving the advantage to Michael Rosenblatt in his lead run. We've seen from last year that he is a keen chaser, you know, on an unfamiliar track. He'll just throw into a cloud of smoke and trust that lead driver. So I think we're in for an exciting battle now as Shawn Gilbert leads. Sticking it to the rear quarter panel of Shawn Gilbert. He knows he's going to have to pack some speed on here if he wants to be competitive. Going that little bit wide, touching the outside edge there, coming in hot to the top corner.
Oh, Gilbert up the wall. Frothing, pushing very hard. Can't take anything away from him. Just, you know, having Rosenblatt on your door, in your ear. You know, the best thing you got to do is just push that a little bit harder, and unfortunately it didn't pull off for Shawn as he wanted it tonight.
You can see Shawn would have an earful of LS behind him. The dirt drop there might have marked him down, but it's the big aggressive track off at the bottom that handed it over to Mike Rosenblatt, getting the advantage. But big round of applause for Shawn. He was pushing as hard as he possibly could, and I think that's going to be a name to watch for the rest of the season.
If you can get that car dialed through that little S, he's definitely going to be one to watch out for.
Big hit there means Mike Rosenblatt is through to the top 4. He'll be facing off against Brad Tuohy, and then Beau Yates up against Mitch Jeffrey. Going to be some tight battles here and some real pace on the figure 8 circuit. After the break, we're going to see our top 4 battles for the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars and our first podium of 2017. Been some real tight battling tonight on Sydney Motorsport Parks Figure 8 circuit, and this is the first of our top 4 battles. Mitch Jeffrey will be chasing Beau the Show Yates in that JZ powered 8.6. Both of these cars with JZs under the bonnet, in fact. Everyone's
really stepped it up tonight, and I've loved watching every battle. Let's see what these boys can throw down and do in the top 4.
Crazy for a car with so much power. You can see the throttle control of Beau Yates, by how it'll just instantly bushfire when he's on it, but he's really controlling that rear wheel speed through some of the tighter sections of this track, and it equates to road speed. And watch him pull away from Mitch.
Yeah, Jeffries gets left behind there a little bit in Beau's lead run. Hopefully in the chase we can get him to get back up there. Does everything right. Beau out there doing his normal lead run. Can't take anything away from Jeffries. He's there through the S's. As we come down to one of the most important points of the track, like I said, Beau's right out to the edge of that racetrack and starts to pull away a little bit of gap on Jeffries, which is going to give the advantage to Beau Yates.
So judges confirming down the bottom left there. That means Beau has a slight advantage here, but as the battles get switched, it could be a mistake from either one that gets them through. Speaking with Jeffrey down in the pits before, he's had a few issues with gripping this car and been fiddling around with that rear end setup for over a year now, and they still seem to be plaguing him as Beau is just all over his door.
We'll see if Jeffries can push Beau to make a mistake or try to pull away a little bit of a gap like Beau did to him in his lead run. Jeffries doing everything right in the lead run, but Beau's there
It's fun watching two drivers who are so clinical next to each other because, I mean, neither of these guys really made a mistake, and that's where it comes just back down to road speed. And Beau's car just seems to have that additional grip in the rear, a little bit of extra power, and those two things combine to let him be all over Mitch whenever he wants to, but also when he's out in the lead, pulling on a big gap, and it's for that reason that Beau is going to be battling it out for the top spot.
Yeah, I think Beau was just a little bit closer around that first corner on the chase, and then like you said, that gap wasn't as big.
This is sure to be a tight battle. Our number 2 and number 3 qualifier, Mike Rosenblatt, leading Brad Tuohy here in the battle of the V8 powered Japanese cars.
Brad pushing really hard and actually gives Rosenblatt a nice little love tap there. Unfortunately, that's giving him a little bit of a gap now, and Rosenblatt's starting to pull away.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty heavy hit actually, but Mike doing pretty well to reel that back in there and make sure it didn't push him into a spin. Brad coming in hot across the finish line there, and you know, from the quality of that chase, the early part of it seemed to go to Brad, but after the contact...
That wasn't that hard, Dave, mate. Collins is a love tap. As you saw earlier, Mattie explained the rules. You know, we're pushing these drivers to have a little bit of a tap and really push really aggressive. As long as they don't push that lead cut off their line, just like Brad did then, pretty much perfect.
And it's all about what the judges say at the end of the day, and here they have seen no advantage, so the positions will be switched, and it will be pretty much an equal battle from there out, with Mike Rosenblatt now chasing Brad Tuohy. What a noise they make. And Rosenblatt right there with Brad Tuohy ducking the nose into the smoke screen there as they both head wide. Not quite as wide as we would have seen, but straight up onto that front straight and into the top corner.
Oh, and a mistake from Rosenblatt. That could be the difference here. We'll see this in the replay, what actually goes down.
Hitachi replay here. Rosenblatt's right behind Tuohy on that first entry there. And pretty good through the middle section as well.
Yeah, they're pretty even up to about now. Tuohy starts to pull away. A small gap, not much. Rosenblatt's there, get lost a little bit in the smoke. Rosenblatt runs a little bit wide in that ripple, which puts him offline and sends him into a little straighten up.
And that's one more run from the judges. So Mike Rosenblatt, as the higher qualifier, has chosen to chase Brad Tuohy, and he's coming in hot into that top corner. Big smoke screen, but Rosenblatt not stumbling back there in the smoke screen, ready to throw down and chasing Brad Tuohy hard.
Tuohy's absolutely destroying those Achilles tyres, the smoke coming off the back. Look how wide he's running there. It's going to be an interesting one to call. Let's watch his replay.
It's a great camera position here because you can see that red flash is actually the brake light of Mike Rosenblatt. So watch throughout this run the points at which he is on the brake and the advantage coming through from the judges. And for me, I think that was really at the end of the run there where Mike was, you know, left foot braking and trying to pull up the car behind Brad Tuohy as the slower car. But how do you see it, Scott?
That's the beauty of one more run. You've only got that one chance to get through to the next round, and Rosenblatt does just that.
And now he's got the opportunity to battle it out for first against Beau Yates, while Brad Tuohy will be facing off against Mitch Jeffrey in the battle for third. Let's get into it. Battle for third now, and that last step on the podium. Who's going to be spraying champagne tonight? Will it be Mitch Jeffrey or Brad Tuohy, who will now be leading this first battle?
Brad's going to be fired up after that last one more run.
Seems to be coming in with a bit of speed there, but Mitch Jeffrey is right there with him in the chase.
Brad is absolutely cooking those Achilles tyres, leaving Jeffries behind. Can Jeffries get back up on Brad's door?
And that's pretty wild. You know, it's not uncommon for a drift car to pump the cabin full of smoke, but when your car is pumped full of someone else's smoke, it can get pretty difficult to see.
Wow, what a lead run from Brad. Jeffries was trying, but really didn't match anything that Brad did in that run.
Super speed there from Brad. Really, really quick up onto that front straight there. Nice aggressive angle, and there's not much Jeffrey could do to keep up with him, so Brad Tuohy getting the advantage, and the positions will now be switched.
switching gears, Brad was there.
I think I saw fourth on the dash and then he grabbed another one. Wow.
Oh, all over his door. Brad is really pushing, putting his foot down saying, I'm here for this championship. It's not getting away from me this year.
Look at the calmness on his face as well. He's completely in control here. Brad not feeling that pressure in that chase, knowing he just has to do what he's got to do up against Mitch Jeffrey.
And finishes it off nice and tight on Jeffrey's door.
Yeah,
well done from both boys.
So both of those runs there from Brad Tuohy really just seems to be nailing that proximity, you know, coming through that top sweeper there right on the door of Mitch Jeffrey. And, you know, Brad Tuohy getting the win there. And I really do think it's because of that, how aggressive he is into that top corner. So with third place decided, it's now time to see the headline battle of the first round, 2017's Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. Beau Yates, the reigning champion, going up against the dark horse from Queensland, Mick Rosenblatt, who put on some killer runs last year and has decided, you know what, I'm going to come and take this championship out from the beginning, and let's see how it goes in this final battle.
He's got such a gorgeous beard too.
Oh.
Throwing down against Beau Yates, not giving him an inch. Exactly what you want to see, pushing hard, aggression. Can he keep it going for the rest of the track? These two drivers really deserve to be here tonight.
I remember asking Mick the question last year, you know, how do you go on a track that you're not familiar with, throwing in that hard? He goes, if they're a good driver, I just follow them. And that seems to be exactly what he's doing here tonight behind Beau Yates, who has one of the better lines through the figure eight circuit.
To do a killer chase, mate, you always need a killer lead.
100%. And Beau is giving that to him, but Mick right there with him in that chase run. I don't know if the judges will separate these two, and I'm personally hoping for a no advantage, so it all comes down to this final run. You can tell he's nervous about the speed that Mick has had tonight, and he's really trying to chase him down there through the bottom section.
As we come through the S's, Beau pushing hard, Rosenblatt doing everything he needs to do in the front. Starting to pull away a gap from Beau. Like an uncharacteristic mistake from Beau there.
Yeah, it looks to be a little bit shallow through the sweeper there. Not sure quite what's going on, as he had the speed coming up the front straight. He was coming in trying to get into him.
He definitely didn't have the legs that Rosenblatt did up that main straight.
This will be the final battle of the night for the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. Mick Rosenblatt laying down an incredible lead run, and Beau Yates just coming up that little bit short in the top section. And there's the judges' confirmation. Michael Rosenblatt is the winner of round one. What a drive. Mick Rosenblatt coming in hot to the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars, and with him now in the top position for the series, I'm sure Beau Yates, Brad Tuohy and the whole rest of the ladder will have sights set on him. So Mick lavishing the fact that he's got a target on his back and ready to battle for the rest of the season.
Wow, all the drivers really stepped up tonight. So entertaining to watch. Killer battles. Everyone driving really aggressive, and can't just see what round two brings. We're going to have a few changes in the mix for round two for the drivers, so make sure you keep your eye out. Get down to the track or catch out that live stream.
I'm hoping with an interstater on top of the ladder, we're going to see Mick Rosenblatt coming back down here for round two. You'll be there as well, so thank you for joining me, Scott Shembry, and we'll see you next time.